Hello, fellow drinkers at the Jolly Heretic, resident poet here, and hello again to those of us joining from History Debunked, and a happy St. Patrick's Day to all of my viewers. Now, turning first to Ed's quick pints over the last few days. The first one I saw was where Ed gave us a lowdown on those people who are compulsive liars. A lot of these folk who tell lies have their sights set on a prize. Others' invention is done for attention, but generally fibbing's unwise. A chap claimed to be from Quebec. He lied and thought, what the heck? He claimed to fell spruce and talk about moose. I think he's a pain in the neck. So those were just a couple of rhymes there on the subject of lying. Now, I also saw Ed do a few tweets over the past few days, one of which was on the new migration bill, which is set to hit the UK House of Commons very shortly. If you're a real refugee and have made the decision to flee, once in a safe place, then ease off the pace. Kent's not for you, do you see? So a slight local input from me there. Another tweet that I saw Ed make this week was on the subject of Eleanor Williams, who has been given a 4-year sentence, or I think she will serve 4 years most likely anyway, for false rape allegations. A woman cried wolf over rape, and then she made good her escape. She showed no repentance and serves a light sentence. This should leave us all quite agape. So hopefully you enjoyed that. And then one more tweet that I saw was Ed answering the question as to whether a university education was as prestigious these days as it was in the past. Education can oft be a curse. We might say that more equals worse. From right at the top, standards do drop, and your fees, they do not reimburse. I'm sure that hits home for a lot of people, actually, university tuition fees being what they are. Now, we turned to Ed's stream last night, which was back on YouTube again, and his guest was one Malcolm Collins. He was also accompanied by his wife and one of their offspring, and this chap, Malcolm Collins, is a committed natalist, and that prompted me to write a poem. Our guest tonight is down to earth. He's firmly in favour of birth. To be antenatal is basically fatal. We're sure that he will prove his worth. And I think he did. I think it was a very successful stream last night, enjoyed by all. Now, turning to history, Debunked. Simon, as always, has been as busy as AB. And the first video of his I saw over the last few days was one on the subject of the Hay on Wye Literary Festival, which now features attractions that are doubtless more inclusive, shall we say, than they have been in the past. The powers that dwell way on high have descended upon Hay on Wye. There's quite a lack of folk who are black, and this news has caused an outcry. So that was my little rhyme on that subject. And then not long afterwards, Simon came up with another video where he gave us the lowdown on how these days it's not enough simply not to be racist, we must be actively anti-racist. So pretty confusing there, but in any case it prompted me to write a line or two. Racism, we all must be anti, but proof for this seems to be scanty. We ought to rebuff this terrible stuff while pouring a glass of Chianti. So hopefully you enjoyed that. And now it's time for today's funny story, which does have something of a St. Patrick's Day theme. So there's this Irishman, and he has a couple of pints of the black stuff at lunch, and he's a bit merry. And he's just winding his way home, and he walks past a river. And in the river, he can see a modern-day baptism ceremony taking place. And the minister who's conducting the ceremony sees the Irishman walking past and shouts out to him, "Sir, do you want to find Jesus? Do you want to help us find Jesus?" And the Irishman says, "Yeah, well, why not? I'll be up for that, no grand." And the Irishman walks over to the river. He takes off his shoes and socks, goes in, and proceeds to dunk his head in the water, a bit like the others. And he's down there for about 30 seconds and then comes up again for air. And the minister says to him, "My son, have you found Jesus?" And the Irishman says, I haven't found him." And the minister says, "Well, go down again." And the Irishman puts his head underneath the water again for a bit longer this time, and then comes up again, and the minister says to him again, "My child, have you found Jesus? And the Irishman says, I haven't found him. And then he puts his head underneath again, and he's down there for a long time this time, and it comes to the point where he can't take it anymore, and he comes up again, gasping for air. And the minister says to him, this time, my child, have you found Jesus? And the Irishman says, I'm afraid not, I haven't, but I've got one question for you. Are you sure this is where he fell in? So that was today's funny story. So that was just a roundup from me today of the Jolly Heretics output and that of History Debunked. If you did enjoy it, please do like and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see each other very soon. Goodbye.